There are places where time bends, moments where the past, present, and future collide, not in chaos, but by divine design. The Bible calls it the fullness of time, a mysterious point where eternity touches creation and prophecy becomes reality. But what if there was a gate, an ancient, unseen threshold through which God's timeline flows into ours? A place where angels once stood guard, where prophets glimpsed the end of days, and where the destiny of every soul was already written before the world began. This is the story of the gate of time, where prophecy meets eternity, and the secrets of heaven unfold beyond what the human eye can see. Before the first light, before the stars burned, there was only the Eternal One, dwelling in infinite stillness. He spoke, and time began. With that single word, let there be, eternity fractured into moments, seconds, and ages. But Scripture hints that time was not just a flow, it was a structure, a divine creation itself. In Job 38:4-7, God asks, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth, when the morning stars sang together?" Those foundations were not just physical, they were temporal. The very framework of time was built like a gate, an entrance through which eternal decrees pass into human history. Every prophecy, every divine act must pass through this gate. Ancient texts and the lost books of Enoch speak of beings known as the Watchers, angels set to observe the flow of creation and guard the transitions between the ages. Some scholars believe these celestial beings once stood before the gate of time, ensuring that no force, not even the rebellious, could tamper with God's appointed seasons. But pride corrupted a few among them. They desired to look beyond their order, to manipulate time, to see the end before it was given. When they fell, time itself began to ripple. What was once perfect became vulnerable to distortion. And from that moment, humanity's perception of time was fractured. Thus began the long war between eternal purpose and temporal rebellion. Throughout the Bible, we find men and women who were allowed to see through the gate of time. Isaiah glimpsed the coming of Christ centuries before it happened. Daniel saw kingdoms that had not yet risen. John, in Revelation, was transported in the Spirit to the end of the age, to witness events that have not yet come to pass. They were not simply seeing visions. They were standing before the gate, a place between what is and what shall be. In those moments, eternity opened like a window, and they gazed upon the mind of God. Then came the greatest moment, when prophecy met flesh. Galatians 4:4 declares, "When the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son." This was no coincidence. It was the exact divine moment when the gate opened once more, and eternity stepped into mortality. Jesus didn't just live in time, he walked through it. Every miracle, every prophecy fulfilled was a thread reconnecting heaven's timeline to earth's broken one. At the cross, the veil was torn. Not only the veil in the temple, but the veil of time itself. Through his death and resurrection, the gate opened for all who believe. But the story doesn't end at Calvary. The book of Revelation speaks of a final moment when the scroll of time will be unrolled, when the gate will open once more and time as we know it will end. Revelation 10:6 declares, "There will be no more delay, time shall be no more." This is not poetic, it's literal. When that trumpet sounds, the gate of time will close forever. The eternal and the temporal will merge, and every prophecy ever spoken will converge in one final revelation, the return of the King. Even now, many sense the ticking of the divine clock. Wars, plagues, disasters, rising kingdoms. These are not random. They are echoes of the approaching gate. As prophecy accelerates, humanity stands unknowingly at the edge of eternity. Every second draws closer to the moment when heaven will break through once again. For some, it will be glory. For others, terror. In the end, the gate of time is not just a cosmic mystery. It's a personal one. For every soul, there comes a moment, a divine appointment, where eternity knocks. Your choices echo beyond time. Every act of faith, every prayer, every moment of surrender passes through that gate and lives forever. And when time itself finally ceases, one truth will remain unshaken. Those who walked with the Eternal One will never fear the end, because they've already entered eternity. The gate of time is not just a prophecy, it's an invitation. And its door is open, for now.